So I brought along some friends and some experts who are the dreamers, the doers, the creators who help to bring Disney Destiny to life. And they're going to give you even more detail than you've been able to see and experience so far. And then we're going to get a lot of your questions answered. How does that sound?
Welcome back, everybody, to a very special episode of the DCL Duo podcast brought to you by My Path Unwinding Travel and also our friends over at DCL Magazine. Head over to dcl-magazine.com today to subscribe to their latest publication, the DCL Magazine, if you want high-quality photos and articles all about Disney Cruise Line to supplement the great information you're getting from our podcast. Be sure to head over there, subscribe, and check them out. If you use code DCL Duo, all caps, that's all caps DCL Duo, you can take 10% off everything in the WDW Magazine store. Special thanks to the folks over at DCL Magazine for sponsoring these bonus shows. I just wanted to give a short intro to what you are about to hear. So while we were on board the Destiny Media Preview, there was a media panel with several folks from Disney Cruise Line PR and operations to discuss the Disney Destiny and everything that Disney Cruise Line was trying to accomplish aboard the Destiny. This panel was held aboard the Disney Destiny's media preview cruise in Saga. And so because of the nature of the space and the way we had to record it, we did have to enhance some of the audio. So you may notice just a little bit of any glitchiness or oddities in the audio. That is due to the enhancements. And so we're going to head over there now to hear the panel. But just quickly, a special thanks to both Disney Cruise Line and the Disney Parks for having us aboard the amazing media preview cruise for the Disney Destiny. And thanks to all of you out there for listening. We hope you enjoy this special look at the Disney Destiny.
Please join me in welcoming the Vice President of Communications and Public Affairs for Disney Signature Experiences, Yolanda Cade.
This is a Disney show. Joy, happiness. All right, that's better. We just want to just make sure you shake off the chicken tenders. That's really what that's all about. That's the energy that we're looking for. Listen, we're so glad that you all are all here, and we hope that you all have been discovering your own destinies. It's just been an incredible voyage, and now you understand what we need when we say the Disney Destiny is themed to heroes and villains. It's purpose-built for families, and it is bringing Disney stories to life like never before. Do you feel that when you walk around the ship? Great. Well, we're going to go a little bit deeper today, and I brought some friends along. But the first thing I want to point out is something we've done over the past few days. We know it's really important for you to share with your readers and your viewers everything that you've discovered on board the ship. So we ask you to pose your questions to us, and boy, did you all respond, right? So you have asked us some really, really good questions. We've incorporated those questions into that panel today, and guess what? A lot of you all had many of the same questions. So I brought along some friends and some experts who are the dreamers, the doers, the creators who help to bring Disney Destiny to life. And they're going to give you even more detail than you've been able to see and experience so far. And then we're going to get a lot of your questions answered. How does that sound? Okay. All right. That sounds like a panel to me. So will you join me in giving them a warm welcome? Let's start with Manager of Interior Design for Walt Disney Imagineering, Beth Burkhardt. Come on up, Beth. Creative Director of Disney Live Entertainment, Disney Signature Experience, Jen Bascom. Come on up, Jen. And my cruise director, your cruise director for Disney Cruise Line, Carly Scott. There we go. There's the load. And then our full sail director, shipboard operations for Disney Cruise Line, the one and only Lisa Pickett. All right, ladies. So we were saying backstage, was this like the Destiny View show or something? Hi. So it's all the ladies on the panel. And I'm super excited because I know you all have a lot to share. Thank you all for being here. So I'm going to start first with you, Carly. Yes. Surprise.
So shy.
Yes. One of the things we're super excited about is that many of you all told us that it's their first time cruising. It's met a lot of first time cruisers. And so, Carly, as a cruise director, you really play a significant role in the experience of our guests on board. Can you talk a little bit about what you do and what you oversee and how you interact with our guests in your goals perspective.
I would love
What do you do?
Great question. I ask myself the same thing every single day. Well, as the cruise director, I oversee all entertainment operations. So there's everything from our youth activities teams, the events and activities first thing in the morning, so last thing at night, the deck events, the fireworks at sea, outside youth activity spaces, as I mentioned, also port adventures and recreation too, and all that technical spaces around the ship as well, especially that involved in entertainment. The great thing of entertainment, being an entertainment company itself, we have our hands in so many pies, and so we work so closely with the rest of our partners here at Onboard, especially within our steering committee, to be able to help them to be able to make sure that we bring all those spaces to life, to make sure we create those magical moments that will last a lifetime. And I have the great honor of doing that. And my team themselves, there's just over 200 crew members in entertainment. So, yeah, we're out and about here, there, and everything. First thing in the morning, last thing at night, making sure that everyone's having a great time.
Fantastic. And I think we did share from all of you how much fun they've been having with you and your team. It's just been such a pleasure. So probably I'm going to stay with you because you have a really unique vantage point because you've actually been with the ship from the early days in Germany. As you all know, we build and construct our ships in Germany in a very special way. So what does it feel like to watch that transformation of watching her be built and constructed to seeing her fully ready and welcoming our very first guest today?
Well, it ended up being my destiny.
It is your destiny. I see we take there. So
FI. So I actually joined over in Papenburg, Germany in May. So pretty much she was steel. She was literally her last box, so just on board. And then so watching her to be able to pretty much be built from the ground up to where she is today is such a great honor. And to be able to work with the incredible people that I've worked with along the route as well has been a fascinating and incredible journey. It really has. We've made some great bonds with obviously it's just the people that are here on stage that we've known for many years as well. But to be able to continue to make those memories and train our crew and get them ready. And they're so excited as well. As that Maiden Voyage is just around the corner on November 20th. And so it's really to see it come from where it was to where it is today. And just really, really proud.
fantastic. Just so many incredible stories, right? Thank you for that, Carly. I'm going to go to this side, but the stage. And Lisa, we're going to come to you. So as the hotel director, we are all well rested and smiling, see all these faces because of you and your team, right? Just the incredible accommodations. You oversee, the crew, right? Much of the crew, and that really is the secret sauce. What makes Disney Cruise Line so special. And so I want you to talk a little bit about how important and how special is that guest interaction to a Disney Cruise Line experience that you and your crew deliver. It really is the Disney difference. Just talk a little bit about that.
It really is the Disney difference. I have almost 1,100 of the team on board, actually. So the entire food and beverage operation, housekeeping, guest services, merchandise, photos, spa, everything to do with that hotel experience. And whether it's your stateroom host who's really creating a home away from home for you inside of the staterooms and suites, dining room service team who follows our guests from dining room to dining room, really anticipating those dining needs for our guests, guest services or merchandise hosts, every one of those interactions is extremely important to truly create that special vacation experience for guests of all ages. It really is something magical.
Yeah, absolutely. Disney is known for their extraordinary service, and we love sharing all the time. You love sharing this back that 40% of people who cruise say they took a cruise because Disney, has a cruise vacation. So it's really special, and they do that because of you and your crew, Lisa. So thank you so much. So what would you say is the Disney difference that you hear from our guests that they really, really, really love? What do you hear from them?
I think that there are so many Disney differences. I hear anything from exceptional attention to detail, really bringing stories to life on board our beautiful vessels. And now how exciting here of the Disney Destiny with heroes and villains story. But for me, I think the true Disney difference is our crew from around the world that really provide that authentic and that genuine guest experience and truly care about taking care of our guests' needs as we create a very magical vacation for our guests. So truly, I think that our crew are what stands out as the Disney difference.
We agree. And they really become a part of their memories and build such strong relationships with them, right? And Carly, I know that's true as well. So we're on a cruise ship and we're talking about Disney Destiny. But we love to remind everyone that we're an entertainment company who also happens to be in the cruise business. All right. So Jen, I'm going to come to you and we're going to talk about creative entertainment. So as the creative director for Shipglide Live Entertainment, that's a big cool job. Yeah, right. Awesome. Can you share more details about the new entertainment on board Disney Destiny? We've got that question from a lot of you all. You know, what's new? What's exciting? There are new character interactions in the way you're bringing those to light. What will our guests be able to experience in terms of that heroes and villains theme from an entertainment perspective?
So from Disneyland Entertainment, I think the most exciting thing we heard was that the thematic motif was here's, it's like it does get more dramatic than that, right? That's the hard storytelling. And this is the first time ever that our guests are coming face to face with villains at sea. So we knew we had to do things differently. And I think we really turned up the dial for our guests' engagement. When you engage with a hero, whether it's a fairy tale hero or royal, or it's Mickey and his pals, or it's a superhero, that's a huggable, warm experience. Villains are not huggable. And that is awesome. So we were able to create experiences like Dr. Facilier's parlor, where you enter the parlor and have this intimate experience where you are doing a card trick. You're playing a dangerous game of cards with a villain. It's so exciting. Or one of the first experiences our guests got to engage in is when we told the story of Loki. And Loki showed up because he was here to clear his name. And then he sort of upped the stakes and decided he is now the king of our ship. So currently we are all under Loki's reign. But perhaps this afternoon that may change. We'll find out at Celebration Weekend. But we were really excited about how our guests could engage with villains in a durational experience since we're all living among them for a few days. That was a really fun way for us to create experiences along with our heroes. For those of you who have not spent much time with Spider-Man, not to worry. You got hero moves at Spider-Man happening this afternoon where you can learn some moves and help Spider-Man thwart a villain right here in the Grand Hall. It's exciting.
That sounds like so much fun. So we'll be practicing our inner play with it, right? We'll be ready. And I'll tell you, Jen, onto to some of the villains. They keep telling me we're just misunderstood heroes. Would you tell Jen that? And I said, I would. They're lying. Okay. I do it. Sorry. Oh, good. Thank you for that. And so this is for the entire panel. Anyone jump in here. One of the questions that many of our guests had was really around adults, right? And I think we all get this question all the time. Do I have to have kids to be on the ship? Or what do you have to do for adults? But we intentionally design our ships in a certain way. So how intentional was the design and programming? And is the programming, this is live television, so we're just sponsored with Just Us. Okay. Well, they're my friends, don't worry. How intentional was the design and programming for adults on board the Disney Destiny? Because there really is a lot for them to do. And I'd love for you to just kind of unpack that a little bit for them.
I love the fact that guests of all ages, from the young and truly to the younger hearts, can disconnect from the outside world, reconnect with each other. And as you mentioned, we have spaces and events, activities for every single member of the family. And for our adults, particularly on the ship, I'm just so super excited with the extra activities and events that we have coming our way as well, including those incredible spaces as well. Has anyone seen With Great Power? I'm going to sing in 18 Up. We love that, right? And Carly's team partnered so beautifully with us to bring engagements like that to life, where it is a little more, I won't call it sophisticated, let's be honest, but it is a little more mature in terms of what kind of humor we get to do right here on the Saw the Lounge stage. That's been a blast for us to bring these hero stories to life in a very different way. We had a blast at that.
You know, we often see when our guests first decide to take a Disney Cruise Line vacation, they come as a family or as a family reunion. But then we see grandma and grandpa or mom and dad come back to sail with us to be able to enjoy whether it's Paulo's Steakhouse or Enchanté or the Rose and all of the incredible adult-only offerings that we have available.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Beth's team did an incredible job of DeVille. Yes.
And we have an engagement, but I'd love for you to talk about DeVille's if that's
Yes.
look for it.
So DeVille's was so much fun because it was the first time we ever have a villain space on board. And we were able to look at what that looks like in space. So, we were able to look at Cruella as a character herself. She's this bold, larger than life, dramatic personality. And so we could look at color palettes like her iconic black and white color palette and red to inform the general look of the space. But then we also have high fashion influencing the look of it, with the textiles in the space, the shapes, the furniture. She has such an iconic car in the film too. So that being shape informs some of the shapes that you see, like the pilasters around the piano. And, she loves her spots. So we have spots scattered throughout, and a lot of fun details for guests to discover in there.
So many great details, right? And it's one of the reasons why we are the leader in family cruising. We're purposeful for families, and those dedicated spaces, whether you're an adult or the entire family, it's fantastic. You can usually catch me over in the Cove Cafe, right? Having a coffee or one of our great cafes, just so many spaces. And you all do a beautiful job. Beth, actually going to come back to you because we want to talk a little bit about how your team specifically incorporated the theme of heroes and villains. It's in the interior. It's throughout the way the ship is built, every part of it. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so from the moment you board the Disney Destiny, you are welcomed into our grand hall. So we wanted to start out with a hero's welcome. So T'Challa and the world of Wakanda is what first introduces you to the Destiny. And this is our kingdom on the seas. So here you'll get to encounter different heroes and villains throughout the course of the cruise. Like I was just saying, it was the first time we were able to have a villain space on board. So as we looked for different spaces on the ship, we saw how we could use heroes and villains to tie all of these different stories together. So here in Saga, we have an extension of the Black Panther story. DeVille's, we have a villain story. And then even areas like our stair towers, elevator lobbies. That was really fun to get to use those areas like giant art galleries, really. So we have our forward stairs, which are fully dedicated to villains. And it was so fun to be able to dive into so many villain stories. It's not even just the villains you think of kind of as like our top 5 or 6 villains, but we really got to go into deeper characters from all of our stories, from Marvel to Pixar, classic animation films, and Lucasfilm. So that was a lot of fun. And even the way we looked at the architectural details in the space, from our villain stair to our hero stair, it informed the colors we used. Villains are often associated with colors like green, purple, red. So we have green as our color there to tie all of the villains together. Blue for heroes, much more optimistic. The shape language is angular, even the way villains are animated. You'll see Cruella or Madame Medusa, very angular cheekbones and chin lines. So we wanted to look at that in the architecture of the space too. So you may notice from the stair balustrades to graphic details in the space, they change from our forward to aft stairs as well.
Telling stories all over the ship and every part of it. Thank you for that, Beth. And I'm wondering if I could stay with you for just a moment, because one of the things that our Disney fans and our guests love is finding all the hidden Mickeys on board the ship, all the hidden details. Are there any hidden Mickeys that you can point out around the ship or special details so when they leave, they can go and kind of seek those out?
Yes, well, I won't give all of them away because part of the fun is finding them on your own. But some of them that are actually quite helpful with wayfinding on the ship are in your stateroom corridors. So you'll probably see some hidden Mickeys in your staterooms as well. But as you're walking down the corridors, we have Mickeys in each of our carpet designs. So Mickey is always headed towards the front of the ship. So you may see him in Baby Guru 6 or Grave or Hercules corridors. He'll always be pointing you to the front of the ship. And then we have them, in a certain spotted location on board. I know some of you already pointed them out earlier today. So it's really fun to add those in throughout. And it's not just Mickeys that we hide. Since the Destiny is our 7th ship in the fleet, we've had a lot of fun with the number 7.
So, as I was talking about the stair towers earlier in the elevator lobbies, there we have our Maleficent carpet and our Sorcerer Mickey carpets. You may notice that in the four corners of those, we have 7 stars for the heroes, 7 green orbs for the villains. In our Pirates pub, we also have 7 pirate ships on the ceiling as a nod to stay in story, but be a nod to Destiny as the second ship in the fleet.
And even in this elevators as well, the elevator signs as well. There is 7 stars around Destiny.
Oh, we gave them quite a few, so they'll have to go out and discover the rest. But I think those were good. We promised we'd give them a few. So thank you for that, Beth. So for the entire panel, we want to talk about sound, lighting, and design, right? Because it is such a part of how we immerse our guests. So, how do you think that plays a role in helping our guests feel like they're really stepping into the story? Anyone? And there's so many spaces on the ship where we do that, right? So jump on in.
I think a great place would be in the Grand Hall. I think it's a perfect place that you can tell that.
Yeah, so our Grand Hall, we had a lot of fun with the space on the Destiny. And you've probably already seen it transform at this point. So as T'Challa is in the space, it feels light and bright and optimistic during the day. But for the first time, you were able to play with color and light in a really dramatic way. So if a villain were to enter the space, we can completely transform the look and feel of it with light and color, so that it represents the character. And it also has this kind of eerie, ominous feel when a villain walks in. Whereas, a hero like Spider-Man is playing in the space later today, it's going to feel much more energizing, optimistic, and light.
And this room is sort of a creator's dream because we've got this magnificent, beautiful screen behind us, and we really can transform space here. So we took that opportunity to do this cool thing called Under Her Spell with Maleficent. This encounter where she transforms space and time by casting spells, and we go to different places within her realm. And then she brings some guests up. She chooses some guests to do her bidding. And that's been really fun. The Oculus is what this is called above us. Does some really incredible things. Thank you, WDI, for playing with us on that. So we were able to take advantage of this incredible light source, along with the architectural lighting in the space and the theatrical lighting. So we really can take people places when she, for example, does the spell where she casts her fire, her green fire. It's as if the whole room has caught on green fire, which is a very unique experience. So we were really excited to do that in this space.
I love the fact that every venue on board, no matter what it is a stage. Not just in my own world, but every world. Like every space is a stage. So we can really tell those stories, and each every venue has its own story to tell. So whether it is in DeVille's, whether it's downstairs in the Sanctum, whether it's inside the Walt Disney Theatre, one of the most technological advanced theatres pretty much at sea, we've got some incredible spaces that we can turn and truly make it all part of the story and immerse all our guests in that story with us along for the journey as well.
So well said, Carly. And I mean, I saw so many people clapping and just really be astounded at the way we're able to bring Hercules to life. And it's probably the best example of lighting sound effects, right? We're still trying to figure out with the bubbles. How did you make the smoke come out of those? We were all hopping them. It was a secret. We'll have to find that out later. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about people who cruised with us for the very first time. There are a lot of you that are here, a lot of people joining us for the very first time. So one of the things we wanted to talk about are the key takeaways. If you're a first-time guest, what would that key takeaway be? What would you want them to know?
There is so much, right? I'll go first again. I think that some of the amazing things that we see now is even just what we have on social media is everything that's on there, but there's know before you go. There's like helpful hints on the socials is incredible. And I think that's such a great thing for a pirate night. If you go to a pirate night, we will help you once you're on board to be able to get into those themes, but to know what's coming on the cruise as well. So you're prepared, you get the family prepared, you get yourselves prepared, ready and set to go. And especially on that very first day where there is so much happening. So you can find where you're going to go for dinner, where you're going to go to come to the set sail party, what show time is. And so there is so much in those very first days to be able to help you. And so I think reading up, getting prepared as much as you can, and then also You have crew members on board to help you every step of the way. So we are here to help you just as much as everything else.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing that our crew is here to help with the journey. But I also think for those that aren't sure, like if mom wants to go for a cruise, but maybe there's somebody that's not sure whether or not they want to, there truly is something for everyone, whether you want that relaxing vacation to enjoy. And so you head to the spa or you relax up poolside, or you want to be involved in all the incredible activities. There really is something for everyone in the family to enjoy, to make that vacation personalized, and then all come together for a beautiful meal and family time, right? Every night at dinner. I think it's just something very special.
And even in Lang Entertainment, we think about Jenny Wangu, who's our VP. We always talk about how there's skimmers, swimmers, and deep divers. And so we try and create experiences at every level so that really it is something for everyone, even if you're in a different mood, right? Because you might be a different everyone each day of your vacation. So that always rings true for us as well.
Yeah, I come from a large family where we have a huge age range, and that's something that is amazing cruising as well. So now that I have a toddler of my own, I also have, siblings that are much younger than me, having experiences that, are inviting to every age. It's so nice to have experiences that we talked about, or we can kind of go off and do our own thing during the day, and then we all come together at dinner or to see a show together in the evening. It's such a nice way to bring a little together.
It's so true. And I would just say the one tip I give first timers is make sure you download the Navigator app, because it really is, you're walking like your personal assistant on board, and you layer all the great crew members and all of the great tips on top of it. But it guides you, right? Drop a dead. And anyone use their app? I hope you all use your app here, right? And you can plan your day. So it's just a great tool, a special tool on board. One of the things that we wanted to just kind of celebrate is how excited we are that the Disney Destiny is actually going to be sailing from our second home port in Port Everglades, right? We're super excited about that. So now we have 2 ships that will be home ported in Florida year round. So that gives our guests and all of you an opportunity to delight more of our guests, but gives them more options. It's a driving distance to Walt Disney World. The airport is close in Fort Lauderdale. It's an incredible destination. We're super excited. And one of the things that was really astounding to me is, I think about the number of guests we're going to welcome. So in FY26 alone, 1 million passengers will embark on a Disney cruise from a Florida port. All right. So we're super excited about that. And it just really reflects that strong demand for Disney as we continue to tell these stories. And it's really all about the storytelling. So we all say that Disney Cruise Line is like a storybook, and each of these ships is a chapter in this book. And so we just opened the chapter of heroes and villains, but we step on board. It's like you're living, that chapter. So we're super excited. So panel, one final question for all of you. We talk about the epic sagas of heroes and villains, and you all have shared a lot. And I know all of us as the dreamers, the doers, the builders, right, of this great ship. There's some things that are very, very close to our heart. So unfair question. It's like choosing, your favorite family member. But what part of Disney Destiny is your favorite, most close to your heart, and why? So Beth, we'll start with you as a builder and a dreamer.
I absolutely love our Grand Hall. We were able to do something completely different in that space. And I love the way people can come together in that space and experience it at different times throughout the day. It really feels completely different during the day than late at night. If you happen to be there during the Kiss Goodnight, for example, it's a nice little magical moment that happens in there where it comes to light. Or maybe you've encountered a villain during the day. So that one has a special place in my heart.
I was there last night. Some of us were there. It was quite magical. What about you, Jen?
I think about the North Star for me, which is, I made it emotional. I can't help it. When Walt created the parks, and he talked about how he wanted a place where adults and children can feel like they can play. And so I think we're really digging deeper into that. When where Disneyland opened, Walt said something to the effect of, it's as if Alice is stepping into the looking glass for each and every guest. We're stepping in, where guests enter that grand hall. We are not only inviting them to step into a story, we're not only inviting them to experience a story, we are telling them they are the story. Whether they're writing a song for Cruella in DeVille's and making her feel better because that other song was kind of mean, or they're walking the runway for her in the Grand Hall later this afternoon in Wretched Runway. Our stories are told on the Destiny with our guests. And that to me feels like my favorite overall experience in every stays on board.
Well said. Carly.
Oh, it's a very tough question.
It's hard to follow that.
It
right?
really is,
Yeah.
right? My goodness, pick your favorite, Kyle. There really is so many spaces you mentioned. For me, the heart and soul of the show, of course, is the Grand Hall. Our crew are our console as well. And the Walt Disney Theatre, it really is the beating heart of all entertainment. And so that's my playground where I get to play so often, as well as around the rest of the ship as well. But the offerings that we have in there, we have 3 incredible shows inside the Walt Disney Theatre, whether there's Disney Seas the Adventure, Frozen, a musical spectacular tonight, and of course Disney Hercules as well. So there's some incredible stories that we get to bring in life for families and people of all ages, which is incredible and represented so well.
Well said. Well said. And Lisa.
I'm not sure how I add to that except to say Pride Lands, I think, is just something very special. Whether it's Paulo's Steakhouse or Enchanté or Pride Lands, I think our restaurants are exceptional. But for me, the heart is always, and I think I'm most proudest of this exceptional crew from around the world, how they've helped us bring the Disney Destiny to life, and the exceptional service that they provide will always be my favorite.
And for all these reasons, there is nothing like a Disney cruise vacation anywhere that anyone can ever find, right? It's something we're exceptionally proud of. So I want to thank you, Lisa, Jen, and Carly. And join me in thanking our panelists. Right? For very good incubation. Thank all of you for all of your incredible questions. We were really happy to share that with you today, but it's not over yet. There's still time for you to discover your destinies before it all is said and done. There's still a lot to do today and tonight to continue to delight you. So we appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you around the ship soon. Thanks, everyone.
Well, thanks to everyone out there for listening this week. We really, really appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep getting great content from us every week. In fact, twice a week we publish shows. So be sure to hit the subscribe button to get all of those great episodes. And if you want to watch us live, we have a live show now every week, Monday nights, 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern over on youtube.com/DCL Duo. So be sure to head over and check that out. If you want to help support the show, be sure to hit those 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. And if you leave us a written review, a 5-star written review, we will read it at the top of one of our main episodes, so please head over there and hit those 5 stars. Of course, you can also help support the show by supporting our fabulous show sponsor, My Path Unwinding Travel. If you want to book your next Disney vacation, head over to mypathunwinding.com/DCL Duo or email them at dclduo@mypathunwinding.com so they know we sent you their way. If you've got questions or you'd like to connect with us, the best way to do that is to head over to dclduo.com. It's got links to all of our things, full catalog of the podcast episodes, including a searchable catalog for the podcast, links off to our vlog, a link to our Etsy store where we sell some fun fan-inspired magnets, link to our Patreon if you'd like to help directly support the show each and every month. Just head over to the website or patreon.com/DCLDuo. Also has a way for you to sign up for our Substack newsletter that we're hoping to start really pumping out monthly here at least, and a few blog articles that we've written. So DCLDuo.com is the best way to connect with us. You can also, of course, email us at info@DCLDuo.com or reach out to us on our voicemail line at 402 402-413-5590. That's 402-413-5590. The DCL Duo podcast is not affiliated with Disney Cruise Line, the Disney Company, or the Disney family of theme parks. The views expressed on the show are solely those of the individuals on the podcast and in no way reflect the views of the Disney Company or Disney Cruise Line. If you have questions about a Disney cruise or a Disney vacation, please contact the great folks over at My Path Unwinding Travel or Disney directly or your own travel agent. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time for another fabulous adventure with the DCL Duo. Good night.